All right, good evening. We'll call the September 9th, 2024 meeting of the Town Council of Cambridge, the Town of Cambridge City to order. And we'll start with the opening prayer. Ms. Doug.
Well, Heavenly Father, we come together tonight with grateful hearts for the beautiful weather you gave us this weekend and the chance to celebrate our town. All the vendors that came, the citizens that came, and especially the visitors that got to see the great community that we live in. Lord, we pray tonight for your peace, your unity. Give us a spirit of cooperation, and Lord, we pray for your favor and your presence tonight as we gather to lead this community into the future. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sheriff, you'll take the roll call.
It's Jim McLean.
Present.
Mike is absent. Debbie McGinley. Here. Gary Cole.
Here.
Jim King.
Jim King is here.
Okay.
I just tell myself that.
Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from last week?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the minutes from last month's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's passed. Has everybody looked at the claims?
I'll make a motion to accept the claims.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the claims from last month. All in favor, signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then the financials.
I'll make a motion to accept the financials.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the financials for the month. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Here you go.
And we start tonight with a public hearing regarding the 2025 budget. Correct?
If I may take the stand, up here, it's a little, we're gonna have a little quick Budget 101 session right now. What you have seen in front of you is, of course, Budget Form 1, the budget estimates, which are your projected expenditures on the various funds that you have. That is what we all talked about at the budget workshop. Then Form 3 that you've also gotten is a summary of those 16 different funds showing the expenditures in that first column of the budget estimate. And it needs to keep in mind, what are the source of the funds? Where do you get the money that you can use to spend all these expenditures? Well, except for some of those near the bottom, which are kind of special, have been added funds that the State Board of Accounts wanted us to. The Capitol Hill Cemetery was donated funds. Opioid restricted was special funds that came in, kind of a one-time. Canine donations, park donations, entertainment venue donations. All of those are, as spoken to about, are donated monies that come in. The primary ones at the top have three sources of monies that fund those different funds, and that is cash on hand, monies from other state resources, state taxes such as cigarette tax, gasoline tax, riverboat money, financial institution tax. And then for four of the funds, just four of them, have a third source, which are the real estate property taxes. That's what impacts your property owners here. And that you'll see in the general fund, motor vehicle highway, cumulative capital improvement rate, cumulative capital development. Those are the only four that get funded through the real estate taxes. What this all means is when we do our budget expenditures, you kind of back into it because you first know what cash is on hand. Number two, with some research, I find out how much funds are expected from those other state resources. And then on that third, the only variable one, which would be the real estate taxes, the state actually puts a limit on what you can. Those real estate taxes are also called your levy. That is your levy. So when you hear about what is the maximum levy, it means what is the most you can raise on real estate taxes. This year, as you'll see on the front page of Form 3, is $971,000. you can't go above that. And even that is somewhat of a misnomer, because that is what is initially shown as your tax levy, your real estate taxes. But then, because of a constitutional amendment made years ago in the state, there's a tax cap. You'll recall that when they tax their property owners, it can only go up to a certain percentage of their assessed value. What that means is the taxpayers get a lot back. That's what that tax cap credit is, the $290,000. As a result, if you'll go to that second long page on Form 3, where it looks like you are raising $957,000 in taxes, $290,000 of that goes right back to the taxpayers. Consequently, what we actually live with is $667,432. That's the only real estate tax money you actually get to use, plus your cash on hand, plus the other monies from the other state sources. So, for example, on your general fund, which is again your primary one, even though it says $759,210, $223,300 of that goes back. So you're really only getting a little over $500,000 in real estate tax. Consequently, when you look at that, your budget of $1,151,000, less than half are actually funded by that variable real estate tax. And that's only a variable up to the total amount that you are allowed to spend. So that's why at our budget workshops, because of that tax cap and the kind of the limit on all those sources of money, we had to try to find the minute you wanted to raise something, where do you take it from? Because you just have limited resources to work with. So, having said all of that, some of the things that need to be talked about for this year, when you look at your total expenditures of the $1,562,641, last year's was $1,523,688. You only went up on your budget less than 0.2%. Now, your taxes that you're raising from people are going up 9% because we didn't have the near cash on hand that we had last year. You had eaten into that. So the tax money that you're raising is going up 9% from what after the tax, it's $957 this year, last year it was $879, but again, you have to reduce that by the credit that goes back to the taxpayers, so it effectively is $667 versus $611, which is just about a 9% increase with that. Having said that too, we were able to give 3% raises to your employees, even though the budget only went up only about $38,000, you're able to give 3% raises to your employees. You were able to put $50,000 new money into the plan department we talked about at the work session. We're still under very slightly. We used to try to stay under the levy quite a bit, but now because of the increase in expenditures, we're only under the levy about $14,000. So you could have raised $14,000 more, but I still like to tell your taxpayers that you've kept it a little bit under what the maximum was. And your operating balance, which is kind of a savings race, is $49,000. We try to keep that at 100, but we just couldn't without raising taxes more. So all of that is to show what you're doing with this year's budget. Now, with that, there's the question about, and this, because some questions were raised because of the savings account that was discovered or at least talked about, I wanted to give this page too. On the right side, you will see the cash balance of funds. This was as June 30th, the last that Sherry did. Those 16 funds that we talked about, yes, they are separate funds, but they are on paper. You do not have to have a separate checking account or any other separate bank account for each one of those funds. They are what they are to be working with to determine our budget. So consequently, all of those funds together as of June 30th were $1,480,793. That's what was utilized as we looked at all the sources of money to figure out how much can we spend for the 2025 budget. But again, there's not a separate bank account for each one of those. Where is that money? Left-hand column of that page. It's in your checking account of $1,128,793, and years back, a prior clerk treasurer thought it would be good to get a little bit better investment, so they put they actually put $300,000 into a savings account, which has grown to 352. But it's that and the checking account that come up to the 1,480,000. So that 352 savings account is not extra money, it's part of what you have on hand. So it could include ARPA money, CCD money, rainy day money, general fund monies. It just happens to be where it was placed to get a better investment. So that's why it's not anything extra. It's what we've always dealt with in determining the budget for each one of the funds. So I just thought that all of this, because we had a couple new council members, for the sake of the public too, I thought I would give this kind of quick 101 session on the budget. Hopefully that would be helpful so everybody could understand what's going on.
Great info.
So still a quick question though, is that balance moves from year to year? The 350, whatever.
The savings account would
Interest.
grow
You get
unless,
interest.
so far you haven't had to get into it. So it is growing, but again, then it is utilized as we look on paper as far as what cash is on hand for each one of the 16 funds are, to then determine. So you have, in other words, in order to fund your expenditures, you have to use cash on hand, which would effectively include that.
So at the end of 2025, that account will be 60 or 70% less than it is now.
Not necessarily. Well, it could be, depending if you take it out of there, because right now you're anticipating to spend all the ARPA money. You may not be spending all of the rainy day fund. I don't know whether you would have to get into that savings account or not, because remember, just because, see, some of these are utilized funds that carry over for a new fire truck, a new police cruiser. So just because you have 1,480,000 on hand, as cash on hand, does not mean you're spending that.
So the
this
rainy
year.
day is a part of that, you said?
Yeah, rainy day is part of that. If you'll see, that was up there. The park donation, entertainment venue donations, and rainy day fund, yes, and edit fund that carries over. So I don't think it's going to go down significantly. Well, it may go down some. It just depends on cash flow, on whether we get the same real estate tax money this fall. What we've done, instead of going to the savings account, I think, well, no, that's still on paper when you transfer from the rainy day fund. Have you had to get into the savings account, Sherry? You have not. So apparently we have enough funds that are non-reverting that carry over every year that we have not had to get into that savings account, but they are accounted for on the right-hand column through funds that are required.
So just, I mean, the edit fund and the rainy day fund makes up that number.
Yeah,
just
probably,
about.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So how do we know whether we passed the class or not? At the end of the year,
Well,
right?
yeah, well, actually, yeah, the state you will adopt this at your next month's meeting. You'll see if there's anybody that has any comments from the public. That Form 3 is what went out online to the public. If they wanted to go online to look and see what your budget's gonna be for this year. And assuming there are no objections to it, no changes to it, you will adopt this at your October meeting. We then submit it to the state. And about, what is it, usually the second week in December, we'll get a Form 1852 where the state approves what we've done, hopefully, and knock on wood, they always approve. Sometimes there's a change, about $50. For example, we are just using best estimates of those other source of state funds, the cigarette tax, the riverboat money. Sometimes that will have changed, and they will correct it by $52 a year, $100 a year. But so far, they've never had to change our budget as such.
So are there any comments from the public for the hearing today? Okay. So that's all we needed to do for
That's
this,
all you need to
Bob?
do.
So we can
Let me
close
hear-
this public hearing.
Give the public a chance to say anything they want.
Okay. In that case, we'll close the public hearing. Moving on to guests, Lori Lakes and Ed Smith.
Ed Smith.
Citizen Board.
So, is it me?
Yes.
Okay, so he probably thinks, why am I here? Because yes, the curb is done. I'm not happy with it, and I made a lot of phone calls on the day that it was happening. I talked to Sherry, I got a message because I was busy from Ken, and I called him back, and then I didn't get a return call. The curb is still low, so it's very low. So the water from the hill is going to continue to come down and go over the curb and go on the slab that is still messed up because of 6 years of the water going over the slab. My phone calls to Sherry and Ken that day were to, in the last meeting, it was said that if a homeowner wants the curb taken up, or a sidewalk taken up, that you're supposed to take it up and then it's on the homeowner to replace it. And I went back and watched the video, so I know it was said. I have pictures of the curb. It's a curb, I get that. I'm just not sure that anybody would be happy with it. And it's still gonna cause the same issues that it has caused the last 6 years. And I told Sherry on the phone, and then I reiterated it to my message when Ken called me back. We were just playing phone tag. He was busy, I was busy, I understand that. If I couldn't get the slab taken up, I wanted plastic put between the concrete and the slab. So if you guys don't tear the slab up, I'm going to, because it's my curb appeal. It's my house. And when I tear it up, or you guys tear it up, which is what I want, it's gonna break the curb, because it's adhered now. And it's a sloppy job, I'm sorry. I'm not happy. If I thought 6 years, it's one thing that I had to wait 6 years, for one thing. It's another thing that it's a sloppy job. And it's going to continue to do the same thing that it has done, because of the 2 times that the pipe underneath the road burst, it's sunk. And then all of the water in the spring, all the water in the summer, all the ice in the fall, in the winter, it's bad. I don't know how else to say it. It's just bad.
So there's 2 things we're talking about here, right? Number one is the curb. You're not happy with the curb.
I'm not.
Which I get. And Ken, I don't know, is there any kind of spec for those curbs that it should be go to? And then the other part is the concrete slab, right?
Right.
And so you did request that it get pulled up, or?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I spoke with Sherry, and then she gave the message to Ken, and Ken called me back, and then I reiterated what I wanted. I was trying to stop I was trying to stop them from doing the curb.
To get the slab up.
To get the slab up. Because now it's going to mess the curb up, because it's the
Of
seam
course,
is
that's
adhered.
different equipment to do the 2 things, I imagine, right? So,
And I understand that, I get that.
so Ken, any,
I can have the guys pull the curb up. I don't think it'll affect that curb if they go in there with the forks and pop that piece of slab up.
okay.
And is there any way to, I don't know, it's really not about, it is. It's about function, but it's also about curb appeal too. I don't know that anybody would want that in front of their house.
Of course, you know, it's kind of hard to tell by pictures, I guess.
Sure.
You know, person I'd like
Well,
to
it's
come down and take a
416
look
West
at it.
Maple, drive by.
You know, just on a side note, that is one of the streets that we do have, that if there's enough money left, that we're wanting to replace the main down it. And so, you know, if we replace that main down through there, then we go and repave that, we can deal with curb down through there with money from community crossings when we repave that street.
So do we know when,
But that's not, is it on the list or?
That wouldn't be until
No.
2026.
Well, that's just the way, I mean, but like I said, to really go in there and do something with the curbs,
Yeah.
you know.
So what he's talking about is there's a high likelihood we'll do some water main work through there.
yeah, because on the last meeting, when I re-listened to it, so is it not just part of the contingency to do Maple, it's gonna be on the actual original list to do Maple?
Well, that's part of the contingency, but that's been turned in as one of the projects to use that money for.
Okay,
So you know, it kind of depends on,
Well, what numbers come in on what
Sure.
it's gonna cost to get those done.
Sure.
but I think there's probably a good chance it's gonna be done at this point. Now, what that means is if it does, that wouldn't be done probably until next year. We need to have to turn in the curbing and everything for the following year after that. So there is still some time to get to there, obviously, so.
So in the meantime, is there a way to remove the slab that was damaged by the water of there not being a curb? And we'll replace it even though I don't want to. I want the city to, but I know that's a losing battle, one thing at a time here. But is there a way to make the existing curb higher? Because it's gonna happen again. It's gonna continue to happen. I just live in a place where the water comes down. The hill.
The water's not gonna come up over that. I mean, you would have to have a major,
It came all the way
Downfall.
without a curb.
Rainfall.
It went past the manhole because I stood at my house and watched it. So it didn't have to be a deluge. Without a curb, it went past the water main manhole. And this curb is only about like this. So it's gonna do it. I know you don't think it is, but I'm the one that stood in my doorway and watched it do it every time it rained without a curb. So.
Okay. I'd like to go down and take a look at it myself.
416 West Maple Street.
And again, I guess, if we can get that slab out, and I don't know, hopefully it doesn't damage the curb you put in. If it does, we'll have to repair it. So.
yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. If it does, we'll have to repair it, but I don't think if they put the forks under that slab, it should just dip it and bring it up away from there.
When was that slab poured, ma'am, do you know?
So it was a slab that was poured because my mom used a wheelchair and had to go to the hospital back and forth, so it was probably 2014.
2014?
2015.
And that leak in front of your house was when, 2018?
2018 in July of 2018 and then again in April of 2019. So it's been dug up twice,
That slab's been dug up twice and
The
re-poured?
curb.
the curb,
The curb?
yeah.
Now that slab that you're talking about, when that was poured, did it rain or anything when that slab was poured, your sidewalk?
No, no,
So that, you're saying that water from Maple coming down that hill has done, eroded the top?
not just the
It's-
water, all the ice, because water, with no curb, it was always water, and then ice on top of it.
I say, like you said, Jim, let's go look at it, let's look into it, because I have no idea.
Okay.
That curb does look a little.
It is low towards, closer to
Because
her
the-
sidewalk, it is.
The street,
And from where
the
that
street
where
dips, and
that
I
hole is
understand why,
dug, and
I
it's
understand
filled.
why the street dips, because it is,
It's where that patch is.
yeah, it
And how it
is,
was backfilled is why. It is low, closer to your slab, yes.
it
ma'am.
is.
It is. And I'm trying to understand how the water and ice from, because that curb's out past that slab, right to the edge. So I'm trying to understand how that, when that water came down and onto that slab, how that eroded it, the way it is eroded, because there's a lot of damage right there. You're right on that.
Yes. There,
Let's take a look at it this week, Ken. I'll give it to you and see if maybe we can get Joe out there too, and take a look at it.
okay,
Okay,
right, I'm leaving.
all right,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Want your pictures
Can you take
back?
her?
Yes, we
for
can.
the
No,
next one?
you can take them.
Okay.
She's out there in the hallway.
Yeah. I was
Thanks,
gonna
Lori.
say,
Yep.
you first.
Okay, we're gonna jump to Paige Pitcock.
Paige.
You are
You
up.
can come up here, or you can stay back there, or whatever you want to do.
She can come up front.
Yeah.
Okay. She got somebody with her, huh? Hi, Paige. Sit right here. Okay. It's your turn.
Okay, hello everyone. So I'm going to be talking about our plans for homecoming this year. We got a start on it last school year actually, we had Future Focus Friday groups, which is like a project with the students of Lincoln and the teachers. We wanted to get a jump start on it so we could like think of new ideas and really involve everyone in the new ideas. Future Focus Friday, it aims to put our students in like real world scenarios and get us ready for employee-based skills. So this school year we wanted to really involve the whole community, make it like a true homecoming. Over the previous years we'd have probably like 70% of like our own students come, and we want to get that up to 100, especially the community's involvement in it. So a big way we're involving the community is by the homecoming game Friday on the 20th. We will be having like all the alumni come, and we're going to be showing them on and recognizing them on the football field. We'll be putting like the previous decades of all the alumni, like 60s and 70s. And we also are making t-shirts for our high schoolers. So the old schools that we're using are the Dublin Irish, Pershing Pirates, Milton Sharpshooters, and Cambridge City Wampus Cats. And like we said, we want a lot of people to come. So we're also involving the middle school. They are the Parkway Panthers and Central Cubs. So the t-shirts we're making, there's one right there. That's some of the apparel. Our Lincoln Golden Eagle Industries is making them. That's right inside the building, and our students create all those. We are selling these to the community. It's not just Milton Sharpshooters. There's Dublin Irish and all the schools, and you can get hoodies, t-shirts, ringer tees, and those crew necks. But
retro Lincoln as well.
Yes, but our students are also getting one free t-shirt, and that'll be just like the freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors. They're all assigned like one of the schools, so they each get a free t-shirt for their team. And then for homecoming, we have so many fun activities. And one like Eagle Mania, we want lots of people to come. So you can just like come and watch. We have a lot of fun. There's like water jug relays and volleyball and dodgeball. It's really fun to watch, and you guys should all come.
September 18th,
Yes.
6 o'clock, starting on the football field.
We also want everyone to just come out, and there's a tailgate before the football game on the 20th. There's going to be great food, and then after the tailgate, you stay and support our football team, because they're going to be beating Hagerstown.
Yes.
That's going to be great.
That's right, that's right.
Tailgate's free, by the way. You just have to pay to get into the football game, but you can come over and eat for free.
Yes.
We also have the parade before the tailgate. That'll be at 4:30. So our Lincoln athletic teams and homecoming court and all that will be in the float. Is there a class? Is there an alumni class in the float too?
We're not sure. Is the class of 79 going to put in? Oh, maybe.
The class. They're in the class.
We might.
Yeah.
We might have some alumni floats.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there will be our high school's floats in there. And we just really want everyone to come and support, because everyone being there will just make it so much more fun. And could you imagine seeing like all those faces? That would just be great. It's so much more fun. What else is there? I think that's all.
Questions?
Other questions?
So the day again is September,
The day of the game
20th?
is September 20th.
okay.
Who makes the food for the tailgate?
Students.
That's your students as well.
Oh.
Yeah, the students will. So if you guys went to Canal Days on Saturday, you had to come early. We posted we were going to be there until 7, but we sold out of everything by
Nice.
4 o'clock. So we packed up and left. But the same kids plus a little bit bigger crew will be out. We have a hog roast, essentially, is what we're doing. And they're going to be making sides to go along with that. And again, it's basically going to be where the high school high jump area is. So as soon as you walk into the gates, you'll see it. Because they're going to be cornhole boards going, games to the left. So as soon as you come in, again, the tailgate itself is for all community members and alumni. You just have to pay to get into the football game, but other than that, come over. Bring your own drinks and chairs, however. We probably will not have enough drinks and chairs for everybody, but other than that, it'll be a good time. And then once the game's close to starting, we'll announce all the alumni to go out on the football field. And you have one last hurrah for all of you that graduated from Lincoln or from
Nice.
Milton or wherever they might have graduated.
Will this be posted on Facebook? Like I graduated 55 years ago. I mean, I could share
could
it with
be
my
there.
friends.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, my class, I know a lot of people on Facebook that I could share
Sure.
this. And if we
We
could
should
get
have
it.
our student government working on like different places posted, so you should be able to see it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
so
And I
far,
can share it.
yeah, and the Western Wayne Schools Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
But LHS Student Government, if you haven't followed it yet, guys, I'm not sure what your problem is. Let's start. Let's get on there. Give us a like. We also have Western Wayne Schools Facebook page. And what we normally do is we'll post to Student Government and then we'll share from the schools page. But you guys can reach out to the school. If anybody wants to put anything in the parade as well, they just contact me. It's Brandon Pennington. You can find me on the school's webpage as well, my email address.
Did you say the student government page?
Student Government, yeah, LHS Student Government.
LHS student.
Yeah, that's the Facebook page, and then I think our school page is Western Wayne Schools. I think that's it, maybe.
How are you funding everything? Like
Yeah.
all the t-shirts?
Right, so this is the second year for LGEI. Paige, if you know these answers, you can answer too.
Yeah.
You good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is the second year for LGEI, so last year we decided that instead of having our students pay for them, we were gonna basically make them for free. So step number one, make them in-house. So all of our stuff is made, like this sweatshirt that I'm wearing right now, was made by our students. I'm not sure actually if there's been a single piece of clothing made by an adult. So this is all student ran. Like when so Paige was in my Future Focus Friday groups, what she was explaining earlier, and it was completely student run. Like if I want something made, I just go get one of the girls and have them come down and make them for me. And then GEI students also are making the class t-shirts. So that was step one. Step two was community involvement. So another plea here, if anybody does want to give money towards the homecoming, we would love to partner. So segue to Future Focus Friday is, I'll turn around here so you guys don't have to keep looking at the back of my head. Future Focus Friday starts, actually started last Friday. It is a 11-week program that we do each semester. So 11 Fridays this semester, 11 Fridays next semester. So if you have something that you want to be involved with the school, feel free to reach out to us and we'll connect you with the proper group that does that. So for us, it was primarily like Gilman's for our wood products. They donated some of that for our floats. Miller's Wood products. Rob donated some stuff for us as well. And other than that, it's been mostly, those are our two big ones, I think, right, Paige? Is that, we reach out to anybody else? I think those are our two sponsors for those things. But the sales from the shirts, we're hoping to hopefully break even if we sell enough clothing to get all of our student t-shirts paid for, and I think we're pretty close to that. Not sure how many total we've sold at this point in time, but I know just 4 hours at Canal Days we had close to $300 worth of sales. So, and then that's about it. Yeah, I think overall. But if anybody wants to get involved,
How do we buy
we will
things
take your
now?
help.
I went down,
Yeah.
but you'd already sold out. How do we buy things now?
Okay, yeah, so there is an online form that you can fill out from Facebook. I'll repost that as well. Paige, remind me tomorrow at school. I'll repost that so we can get that. But if you go to our Facebook page and just scroll through our posts, you'll find it's a flyer with our students on it. I think Paige might be on that flyer. Are you on that flyer, Paige? Do you know?
I didn't know it is.
Not sure, but we have some students wearing the stuff. So just click on the link that goes with that.
Oh, okay.
And it will be a Google form. You'll fill that out. It'll come directly to our kids. Our kids will make it, reach out to you, bill you, and that sort of thing. You can come pick it up. Our GEI is open. That stands for Lincoln Golden Eagle Industries, by the way. That has a storefront that's open from 12 to 3 each day. So basically after lunch until the end of school. But if that's an issue, we can also just leave it in the office and you can pay and pick it up with our secretaries.
Okay. Great.
Cool.
Anything else? No? Great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
Thank you. See ya.
We're giving Paige a 9 clap because in our school, we don't do golf claps. We do what we call 9 claps. Those are the energetic ones. So appreciate everybody's
Thank
time.
you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Bottle that, I think.
Supporting the school is a great way to show community pride and
Right.
civic engagement, so I highly recommend it. So,
And we need to do more.
yes.
When those 2 buses or 3 come and pick up kids here in Cambridge and take them to Hagerstown every day,
Yes.
that's disheartening.
Yeah.
Yep.
So support your local school.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next is Marty Wessler of Wessler Engineering.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time.
We're here though.
We're still here. It's good. It's good. As you were talking about canal days, I was remembering back in 2000 when we started on the downtown revitalization project. So it's been a while. It's been a few years. I have a proposed on-call agreement with the board for SCADA for our instrumentation and controls and programming. These are for things that Ken needs that as they arise and pop up that are not necessarily related to the construction project and the SCADA system from the installation and everything else. And it's on call for this year and for next year. I believe it has a not to exceed in it. I'm not as familiar with this as Adam is and Brian is, but I believe there's a not to exceed in the order of $15,000, and it would just be on an hourly basis to include changes, modifications, additional client applications, alarms, call-outs, reporting modules, report changes, or general instrumentation and troubleshooting. And most of this, you know, the guys can do from our offices. They can just dial in or call into it and can spot and make some changes as they talk to him. So it shouldn't include a lot of travel time unless something has gone wrong.
I think we discussed this last month, and that's why this is brought to us this month. And Bob, if you would be able to review
Yeah, I
it.
looked at it, and it's up to you guys.
Yeah. So all I need is, if you want to go forward with this, or we can table it till next month, or whatever you want to, you know, if you want to go forward with this, we'll take a motion to enter into this agreement.
Well, you've reviewed it. Is there any reasons we shouldn't?
It was just like, well, I reviewed it, it was just as we discussed last month.
Right.
Just, and with, I think we asked for the cap on there, so I think it's all right there.
I would make a motion to approve.
I would second that.
We have a motion and a second to enter this SCADA agreement with Wessler as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I'll sign this
You
one
need to
too.
sign it? Yep. There you go, right there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think that's all we have from you, isn't it?
Yes. I'll get a copy of this and send it to Adam, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. We're going to jump a little bit. I want to jump to the performance venue because I know Cecil's here and he's got another meeting to go to. So this revolves around last month we opened up the single bid we got, and it was obviously much higher than expected and more than we could handle with our money is available. So I think, Bob, I don't know, do we need a formal motion to not accept any of those bids at this point?
Yeah, you can reject all bids
Yeah.
and then decide if you want to rebid.
All right.
Make a motion to reject all bids from the previous.
I'll second.
That was real quick.
Have a motion and a second to reject all the bids as presented as we received last month. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on from there, obviously we've got work to do, and I think what we'd like to do is go out and for a second round of bids.
Are you gonna change any of the specs on it then?
So Cecil, you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, we are adjusting the bid specs. We're basically in the original bid, we had a base bid and 2 or 3 alternates, I can't remember now. But we're adjusting the base bid amount of work to reduce the amount of work, to remove the earthwork from the project, the majority of the earthwork. There will still be a little bit of grading and kind of flat work up near the fire station, and the performance stage will still occur. But the additional earthwork out in the gathering lawn and the perimeter sidewalks would be in an alternate. And then we're also structuring the bids a little bit differently so that we can get exact pricing on the value of the performance stage. That way we know that when we open the bids the next time, we'll know an exact dollar value for that element of the design and can make adjustments if necessary. And hopefully we'll get
all or nothing, so that one vendor would bid for the whole thing, or can different people bid on just aspects of it? How are you planning?
Well, the way that it's structured, it's structured for a general contractor to bid on it. So the general contractor would have subcontractors, electrical. I mean, there could be an earthwork, electrical, concrete contractors potentially on the project.
But that would still be part of a general's bid.
That would still be part of a general's
bids
bid.
you're asking for are from generals.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the way we have to structure it based on the funding that we have available.
That's correct, Cecil. I will elaborate. Mike Kleinpeter, Kleinpeter Consulting, the grant administrator on the project. I also have heard from another contractor that will be bidding this time that did not bid last time. The reason they did not bid last time was they were going to be a sub under a general, and their general just never submitted the bid for some reason. So they decided that they were going to bid it this time as well. So I think we at least have 2 firms looking at this now to hopefully help us get some better numbers.
Given your estimates though, as experts in this area, do we need to take all of that work out if we feel that maybe the bid was not scaled appropriately and not lose the...
So to stay in compliance for the grant, we need to get a bid that we can accept. And Cecil, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're taking it out of the base bid to where we get a good number. If the number comes in well enough that we can then accept adding some of the stuff back, we will.
So put an addendum in.
So that'll be an additional, but OPRA requires we accept a base, and so we want to make sure we get a number we can accept, and then we can add in some of this extra stuff. Is that correct, Cecil?
That's correct. Yeah, all the work is still there. We did change a couple of for instance, asphalt pavement bid at like $30 a square foot, which is insane. Concrete was 10, so we switched some of the asphalt out to concrete. So we've made some minor adjustments like that in terms of materials, but all the work is still there. It'll just be the way it's structured in the documents. So
That's good news.
So when will that go for the next
we are delivering drawings to the bid room by the end of this week. They'll be live Monday morning.
Awesome.
Back on the plan room, which is Eastern Engineering. There will be 2 bid advertisements. Mike, you may know better than I when those are scheduled to run. I think next Wednesday and then 2 weeks from that, or something like that.
I'll check. You want it to run next Wednesday?
I'm pretty sure that's what I think
Does
that's
it go
what
in
we
the
did.
plating?
Does council need to formally approve that re-solicitation?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
I think so.
So moved.
Second.
Come up with language.
Whatever. We have a motion, a second, to resolicit bids for the performance venue as restructured by our engineering firm, and go back out for bids, which we will, the plan is we will open those our next council meeting.
They're
correct?
due at 4 p.m. on the 14th,
Yeah.
ahead of your 6 o'clock
Okay,
town board meeting.
perfect.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Right on.
Anything else on that, Mike, you want?
That's all on that project.
Okay. All right, thanks, Cecil.
Thanks.
All right, so back up to,
Maybe you should do the fluoride.
Do
Maybe
what?
you should do the fluoride. Move the fluoride. Go through the upstairs.
You want to go to there?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we're going to jump to discussion on removal of fluoride from the water system. I know personally I forwarded a lot of information to all the council members, and some of it was forwarded to me and I forwarded on, some of it came from local sources. I don't know what kind of discussion. We don't necessarily have to make a decision tonight, but we can talk about what we want to do. Any discussion?
Did any of you review that information that Jen has sent to you? Any thoughts?
Well, in my research beyond that, I didn't see a strong reason to not continue to maintain fluoride, given our rural situation and the discussion by some of the experts I read. But I'm very open to understanding again the pros and the cons of this. We want to do that now, but I was actually in favor of taking it out, and now I'm.
No, you're not.
I'm now not, and I'll be, again, personally, I'm open to have that discussion. If there are strong reasons from a cost standpoint, a health standpoint, whatever, that would supersede, and I don't know if you want to do that now or not, but I'd rather get to a decision myself. I'm sure you would as well, so.
And I agree with you. I did the same thing. Now I feel like we should keep it in, but.
And I understand. Go ahead. Please.
I was against it because I thought, what's one more chemical in our bodies? But then upon conversations and reading, maybe it's the best thing to leave it in. I don't, I've kind
What
of
are some of those
switched.
reasons for leaving it in?
I just know when growing up, my kids, the dentist always said, you know, the fluoride was the best, and they wanted
also thought
fluoride
that
in
paint and asbestos was good for us back in the day too.
Well, that's true.
I think reading about also that fluoride is naturally occurring in some water systems, so it's not something you can remove. I haven't seen the studies that indicate that in natural existing waters offerings that have fluoride that there is any negative effect over time, much longer than we've been adding fluoride. Again, I am very sympathetic to the request, and I would like to hear why. I know you said in the last meeting why, but I don't know how I counteract that thinking.
Would you mind passing those out to the council members?
You know, one thing I have read on it is fluoride in the water can also cause leaching.
Cause what?
Yeah,
Leaching
probably better.
and plumbing in houses,
Yeah.
which can cause the lead to leach out of the plumbing that's in houses. And with a community like we have with a lot of old houses where I'm sure people have not replumbed, you have that as a concern.
My thoughts on it is if it's naturally found in there, why do we need to add to it?
Because it's not an all water reservoir or water within the ground. It depends on, you'd have to have that, the materials that form fluoride to be in the ground system where the water is.
Yes, which we have.
No, I know we do. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm concerned with our community, not anyone else's.
Yeah, but I'm having to read about the other communities that are.
Is the town willing to pay to do some studies here in town then?
What kind of studies are we talking about?
Any kind of studies in regards to the addition of fluoride in drinking water and the health effects it could have on the human body.
Well, I think their study is already out there.
I meant within our
For
town,
local, yeah.
since you don't want to read about the other ones in other communities, how about we finance our own studies here in our town?
I think that's a reasonable request myself. I don't know what that costs and the timing.
Yeah, I
is.
don't either, I'm just,
How would you get that?
So,
Tell us why you're so strong against it.
well, it's not required by IDEM to add fluoride to drinking water. So why is that? Why is everything else in regards to drinking water monitored by IDEM, or required, excuse me, by IDEM, but fluoride is not. It's monitored by your local health departments. To me, that's a red flag. Like I said before, how many things in our past have been proven to cause cancer, and were supposed to be good things for us, and turn out not to be, and in fact cancer forming, such as asbestos, lead paint. So we're gonna find out in another 10 years that, oh, we never should induce fluoride back in the 40s to these people. Look at what we've done to them over the last 70 years.
How long have we had fluoride? So, I mean, how long has it been around?
It's been, in this town, I don't know the exact date we started adding it, but it was introduced into the municipal drinking water systems back in the 40s. I feel like it should also be the individual's choice, not forced on them municipal water supplies. And there is something in our fact sheets that I sent out, Catherine passed out to you guys, about some of the reasons why to oppose it is that fluoridation is a violation of the individual's right to informed consent to medication. I mean, you guys are choosing to medicate us against, well, my will, for one, my family's will. We don't want fluoride in our drinking water. If we decide we need fluoride, we'll go see a dentist or we'll take a supplement. We shouldn't be consuming it in our drinking water. Drinking water is meant to be safe.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know if it was just free will speaking here or if you need to be called upon. I'm Dr. John Roberts from Connersville, which I moved back to because Connersville was the largest city in Indiana. It was not fluoridated. It was part of the CREST studies. And we've got the cavities and fillings to prove it back then. I did Head Start exams when I first went back, which is the young kids. I was lucky to see 3 or 4 kids that did not have cavities out of 40 young people. It took 2 administrations in our city that passed initially, and then vote by vote it was turned back. And then they stopped. The second administration, we got it passed. Anyway, several years after we started fluoridating, the complete opposite was true. And I know you've had this information, but I think it's important everybody hears it. I found maybe 3 or 4 kids that did have cavities out of 40, instead of 3 or 4 that did not. It wasn't because they weren't drinking soda or brushing better or flossing more. It was the fluoride. It is a naturally occurring substance. Greenfield was listed as not using it. They don't need it. They have it at the right level. There's a lot of groundwater that has fluoride. It's not an added artificial thing. It's natural.
We're adding artificial. The sodium fluoride we're adding to that water is not what's found naturally in the ground.
It's still fluoride, sir. If you don't want it in your water, you can buy something from your water service to remove it. That's your individual's right. Go right ahead and do it. But for all the thousands of people in this area, it would greatly benefit from it.
Sir, may I ask where you live?
Would you let
May
him
I
finish,
please? I live in Connersville, as I said. Excuse me. Lost my train of thought there. Anyway, nothing has been researched more than fluoridation. You can go back to the days that it's a communist plot. It'll burn your yard. It'll ruin your pots and pans. It'll kill your goldfish. No. I mean, it's at a very safe level. You ask why was it lowered from 0.8 to 0.7? Because 0.7 was just as effective. There wasn't any reason to put more in it. You can't drink enough water to hurt yourself with fluoridated water. You can't. If it were possible to drink that much water, the water would kill you. And it's not possible to drink that much. So I could go on and on. I respect your time. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Obviously, this is a very personal issue with me. I didn't move back to Connersville because I love the town, but I do. It was just prevent all this unnecessary medical care. My job is to put myself out of business. Okay? But when people don't listen and they want to have decay, that's what's going to happen. It's safe. It's been researched thoroughly for decades. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, just real quick, I'll weigh in on it, because I have read the information you sent, and, I'll take the time to read through this as well, because this is important, because it has to do with the citizens of our town. But, and the things that I've found, Chris, is, number one, there is a safe level of fluoride in water, and it's, over time, it's now at 0.7. When I know our water tests at 0.66, so it's slightly under that. Because I went and looked.
Yes, I know, I'm the one that adds it.
I know.
Every day.
But I'm just letting you know, I know that because I went and looked. I'm not trying to look at anything without doing the due diligence on this. But some of the things I found is studies have shown that fluoride reduces cavities 25%, and this is over years of study. Now, there is a point about putting something in the water. I understand that whether it's consent to medication or not, I don't know. I'm not sure fluoride's considered a medication. But one thing, most recently I looked at, they are looking at a possibility of a negative, I guess it can lower IQ at a certain level, but it has to be much higher than the 0.7 that's in there. That's approved right now. So I haven't seen anything to change my mind to take it out yet. I'm willing to keep looking, I'm willing to keep listening.
Please do.
I have a comment. Do you take into consideration also, besides just the water source, like it's in your toothpaste, it's in your mouthwash, it's like, so you're not getting it just from water? You know what I mean? Like, so anything too much water, period, could make someone very sick. I mean, just regular water, right? Like, we all know that you can have ill side effects from just regular too much water. So, like, to me, you're getting it, like, if you're watering your gardens in town, it's on your food. If you're watering, if it's in water that's, like, you're not getting it just from the municipal thing. Like, are we getting too much because it's in the water plus it's in everything else? It's, like, one of my concerns. Like, where is it that it's too much from everything else? And I personally, like, in my own teeth, I have the little speckled spots where they're like, oh, we're not going to do fluoride because I've had too much fluoride in my own teeth. So, to me, I guess it's a little personal, too, because of the like, maybe individually, like, too much for me is too much for me, but wouldn't be too much for him or the next person. It affects everyone differently. So, to get the choice of it not being in there, and if I want it, then I have the choice to use the toothpaste, the mouthwash. There's tablets available if you feel like you need extra fluoride. Like, there's other ways to get it if there's not enough, is my question or input in the situation.
Jim?
Yes.
Even if you did all that, you would still not get as much benefit as just drinking tap water on a regular basis. I see the canister of poison here. Hopefully no one's going to open that up and eat it. Those of you that have swimming pools, if you use chlorine to make the water safe, I bet that has a skull and crossbones on it also. But the idea is that you don't consume all that. You use it as intended, which fluoridation is highly regulated. It's thoroughly researched. Unless you take that full canister and start forcing it down, you're okay. You would have to, if you ingest an entire tube of toothpaste, it might make you sick to your stomach. It's not going to help your teeth a whole lot.
But
And
her
people aren't
point
gonna do
is,
that.
there is an indication that you're getting too much fluoride if you get those spots on your teeth.
That would have to be probably from naturally occurring fluoride at a high level. I mean, as far as brushing your teeth,
Where am I getting that from?
I don't know. I don't know where you grew up or anything else.
Here,
I really don't. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe you swallowed a lot of toothpaste when you were a kid. I don't know. I can't answer that question, ma'am. But you could not drink enough fluoridated water to cause that at the safe levels. Maybe if you grew up in somewhere that has twice the amount, which is kind of in that study in China and Asia and other places, not the United States, then you might see some fluorosis. It doesn't hurt them, it's just not aesthetic. Instead of having white pearly teeth, you've got some blotches. You've got really strong teeth, but it's not gonna kill you or make you sick. It's just not gonna be aesthetically pleasing.
Okay. So, at this point,
Table it?
I would say, I would recommend we table it,
I think
and we
that's
continue our discussions
I
and
think that's a
study.
good idea.
And appreciate both the points of view, and that's what we're here for,
Right.
is to listen. Somebody is going to have to make a decision, and it is this board or council. So,
but thanks for bringing this in. All right, we'll table that for now then.
thank you for your comment,
Thank you.
both.
You guys can leave if you want.
I'm sorry.
You can leave if you want, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting,
Well,
whatever you
I
would
have
like to
family
do.
waiting on me, so I guess I'll leave.
You can just
All right,
leave.
thank you.
Yeah, thank
Just for letting
you.
me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them, as with the American Dental Association, on and on. But I would like to be a resource.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to the,
You don't have to stay, Marty. Take care, I'll get
Thanks,
that
Marty.
sent to Adam, thanks, see ya.
let's move on to the blighted properties. Ken, what kind of report do you have for us?
I went and looked at some today that I'm gonna start sending some more letters out. We've not seen the progress that I was hoping to see.
So what step letters are we talking about?
These letters will let them know they're still in violation. They'll also include a fine.
Okay. So will you update us all so we know what properties
I
are?
will update those spreadsheets that I have, and that'll have the new info on the ones that I've sent letters to.
I got that you were gonna do fines last month. Did you do any fines? Cause I haven't seen anybody, if you did.
No, I didn't get.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I'm not missing.
I think just one quick thing on that is, I've talked to a few people both in town and out of town that have talked about the apparent momentum in town for cleaning things up. It's seen. And with the blight program from the county level that is supporting us as well, we're seeing progress, but I would suggest that we need to focus on this. We need to accelerate it, because there are places that have not shown any improvement. And in fact, there are places that did show, like you said before, shows improvement, and then they backtrack. And so we need to, I think, and we do, have a very clear message from this council and our ordinances. We just need to track it. Ken, on your side, really, it's just like hitting it. So I encourage you, as we all do, to keep this up.
And along that line, I think it should be mentioned that Cambridge City Main Street had a cleanup last month that, again, took a lot of large trash and metal out of town. And going back to community pride and civic engagement again, I mean, nothing shows that like helping your neighbor get rid of their stuff and help them clean up as well. So, you know, we know some of them can't and won't, and those, you know, we gotta force them to do that, I'm afraid, so. Unfortunately, but we need to Jim's point, we gotta stay on top of it and keep the momentum going.
And you're the point of the spear, as they say. Whatever movie that was from, you're the lead on this, Ken. So.
But we're the ones holding the spear, so. Metaphor, all right. So, all right, we'll look for that update from you then. What about the blight, speaking of the blight program, where are we at on tearing the one down?
Well, we're waiting for the environmental study, and I emailed her to ask. It was supposed to be completed 2 weeks ago, and I've not heard anything back. They can't go ahead. I don't know if you've got a timeline from the demo crew, but they can't do that until.
I mean, like I said, they're ready to move forward. The company that's gonna take that one down on Main Street, you know.
Are they ready to go?
They're, you know,
Because
They can work it into their schedule pretty
I've
easy
emailed her
from when I
twice.
talked to
I'll
them.
call her tomorrow and see if that's been done.
And,
She
you
said
know,
she'd let me know.
So at today's EDC meeting, Sarah, who's responsible,
Yeah.
did report that at least half have been done.
Yeah.
And there's more scheduled for this week. so.
The environmental study.
The environmental
Okay,
study.
because she said she was gonna put that top of her list, so I have not heard yet,
So, you know, and I talked to one of the guys with the company that's gonna tear that house down, last weekend, and they're just waiting to hear from me that,
Yeah, I'll contact her
move
again
forward.
tomorrow. Make sure we get that done.
Who's tearing it down?
Long Necker.
Oh, nice, okay.
Okay.
Good.
Have you ever needed a contract to have that torn down?
I don't think so.
No. So when you say, this is who's gonna do it, who's ordered that?
That was one of the people I solicited bids from, and that was the lowest
And was
bid.
that awarded? I didn't remember it being
I don't
awarded.
remember it either, that's why I asked who
I
it
believe
was.
it
Maybe I
was.
missed
Was it?
You-
The long
It'd be the
neck?
last
Because that was the
meeting.
lowest bid that was submitted, so, yeah, I believe it
Yeah,
was.
but did we make a motion to
No,
do that?
probably not, because I,
At the last
I
meeting?
thought we put it on hold because of waiting for the county. We weren't sure at that time who actually contracted that out.
I remember
And
hearing.
so that's why I didn't know. if
I
we
remember
were
long
voting on
necker.
it.
Do you remember the
I
other
don't
bids?
recall.
Danny was one of them.
Danny was one of them, and, guy that works for, construction company over in Richmond. I can't remember that.
Well, that was several months ago. I believe it was.
So what do we need to do to get this awarded? so we
Probably-
can move forward?
Yeah, we gotta go with this.
I don't,
Do they need to
That's
submit?
not, no, which one are we talking, which house are we talking about?
the
It's
one
not the
on
one that
40.
they were trying to fix back up.
No, this is
No,
the
no.
one that had been caught on fire.
It's the burn on US 40.
420.
So do they need to submit a proposal to us and then we need to?
I mean, this one goes back several months, really.
Yeah,
that we got
this was
That we got
several
those
months ago.
quotes.
Yeah. But can we go back
Do we have that
and look
quote
at that?
that we can make a move on tonight, so we don't have to wait another month?
I thought we already had.
I'm not saying we didn't, but I just don't remember it.
Don't
because
remember it
that was
either.
anybody.
Well, we can vote twice then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Street.
Want to get it done.
You can look at it, look for it while we continue, I guess. What else? On the blood.
I don't have it in here, right here.
Were they gonna start before your next month's meeting?
They were gonna start whenever
Whenever the
the
environment.
environmental,
So it could start before next month's meeting?
Oh, yeah.
And it would be done in about
We hope so.
a few days.
Do you know what that amount
I
was?
don't see
You don't
it.
find anything?
I don't see
I
anything.
think
there.
it was somewhere in the neighborhood like 15,000, somewhere around there.
We can't, I mean, we.
Here, back in May, you talked about the bids, but there's no motion.
Because I know on that
So you
one,
talked about 415, 420, West Main, Danny Adams, Long Neckers. That was the only two I have, but there's not a motion.
the next lowest one was 17,500, and they were, I think, like $2,000 less.
Is it 420 West Main?
Yes.
I got 17.5, 14.8, and that's the only two I have down.
14.8 would be,
Long Necker.
So, Long Necker, but there wasn't a motion.
And you need a motion to accept that bid. And what, did you notify him that he was awarded it?
I just told them they had the lowest bid, and that's,
Okay, well.
So you weren't
we gotta do this
then
a
officially.
little bit more officially. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and approve and accept that bid and then give him written notification of awarding that bid to him and tell him he can start when this environmental is done.
Want to make a motion?
Yeah, yeah.
Make a motion, we accept the Long Necker bid for 420 West Main Street for demolition.
14,000.
14,200.
800.
800.
All right. Second.
14.
We have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Long Necker for the demolition of 420 West Main.
Okay. Dean King, son-in-law.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, and everybody vote.
14,800. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So next, I would rather have at least, even if it's a one-page contract that sets out the details of how he's supposed to leave the site, do everything else. But we need to have that with him, and I can prepare based on this.
Plus insurance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
those
that's what
things.
you said. You
That's what I said
said,
at the time, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he doesn't have a formal contract, we can try to put something together, but he may have something that we can tweak and make sure it has all the details that we need in it, so.
okay. Okay.
Thank you. On to continued discussion on the roof at the fire station.
Did you guys get together and you were gonna write the specs and meet with Bob and? No?
I don't know if we did.
No.
I didn't think I was part of
You
that.
volunteered.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. You just made that up.
I think
Sharon.
she did make that.
Did I convince you? No. Did not?
I thought you were gonna go back to the people and get bids, because
No, you said I'll handle this.
you reprimanded
jerked
me.
the bid out of my hand and you said, I'll handle this.
That's
And
wrong.
you asked me if I was gonna roof it.
Mhm.
Gary remembers.
You said you were gonna get them, Shirley.
No, I did not.
Well, I can certainly
You're
do
about
it.
to see an argument here. See, I think it's even in minutes.
Sure. Well, I guess we'll table this until next month.
See, who was on that?
I mean, we don't have it, so we can just table it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Let's just table it.
Okay. You
I
guys were
guess
gonna
I'll-
write the
I guess I'll take
specs.
care of it.
You were gonna write the specs, and you said, it's you and Mike.
Oh, here it is,
Yeah, thank you.
right there.
Jim McLean, Jeff Gabbard, and Ken Risch will all work together to create specs for a roof at the fire station, and then we'll meet with Attorney Beaver before requesting
They already do
quotes.
theirs first, good, I vote.
It's
So,
in here.
thank you,
remember that,
thank you,
too.
Sherry, for reminding us. Thank you, Debbie, for finding it.
I remember talking about it.
Moving on.
I guess it's a good thing we're in a drought.
Yeah, I give up with issue umbrellas.
Okay, I'll get that on the agenda.
Yes,
For October, yes, okay,
we'll have bids next month.
okay.
2025 edit agreement with EDC. So we talked about this when Valerie was in and tabled it until, I don't know if there was any, didn't anybody want to think about it or discuss it, but basically they were just wanting us to renew.
Which gives away half of your edit money each year to
Right.
EDC to use throughout the county, including Cambridge City.
Which we budgeted it that way
Yeah.
for next year.
Which has proven valuable to us, at least very recently, especially.
So we need a motion to enter into that agreement, I believe.
When's it, December 31st, I think, didn't she say? Okay.
I believe I can't, and I probably have to abstain since I'm on the
Since
EDC
you
board.
That's probably the safest, yes.
Okay, but I would report that from the EDC meeting today that I believe all towns and even some new towns have agreed to go forward with it except for one, so I won't name names, and they're reviewing it still. Oh, sorry, 2 towns, counting ours.
Except us.
Yeah, so there's 2 that are still reviewing it.
Okay.
So, anybody want to make a motion to enter into that agreement?
I make a motion to enter into the agreement with the EDC.
Oh, second?
We have a motion and a second to enter into the edit agreement with EDC of Wayne County. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One
Oh,
abstain.
yeah, thanks, Jim.
This is probably enough.
Me too, I'd have to break the tie, my first time ever.
Okay. Update on the tornado siren.
Still waiting, they're having problems getting the,
It went off the other
they
day,
lost, they finally
but
lost.
then Nathan called me and said he set it off from his phone or radio or something.
They're still having fun. They came up and they had more trouble with Riceville than expected, that put them behind, but they're still working on it. We're finishing the tower. It's available anytime they can come. We'll have the tower set, our fire truck set up to lift them so they can work on it.
So can you set it off by your,
You can open up, push a button.
well, how could he do it on his phone or his
I have
radio?
no idea how he does it.
Nathan, oh,
I don't know.
and he set Devlin's off too.
I don't know. I don't have that ability.
Okay.
But we can reach in there and push, open it up and stick your finger in that big box of electric stuff and
So-
push a button.
Who's working on it?
Gary Green.
And
Green
has he
Green
came over,
Electronics.
he has came over and
He's
worked?
been over several times. He actually took the control box out and took it to Richmond and went through it to make sure there was no problem with it. It worked perfect. He said it's a communication problem from their tower to our tower. So they gotta get up there and see if they can find a cracked wire or whatever is causing the issue. I talked to him every couple of weeks, and he says, we're on it, and that's all I can.
Okay. All right, on to new business. Start with salary ordinance, Bob.
State Board of Accounts said that technically two things that we're doing that aren't in the salary ordinance should be added. So we've done this is actually the second amendment because it was previously amended in April.
Thank you.
And that is clarification that part-time police officers will be paid $20 per hour. So that's the first highlight change. All the changes are shown in yellow highlight here. And the other, where we talk about where general employees are to be paid from for part-time, we say, that's in section 5 on the last page, where they were gonna get 80% from general and 20% from the cemetery. The part-time office help is getting paid all from water. And actually, this is just kind of a new position, so that's why we have to add that. So that's why we say now the only other exception, other than the police officers, will be that any part-time office help will be paid 100% from the water fund. So those are the only two changes on it that will keep the State Board of Accounts happy, apparently.
Yes.
We want them to be happy.
And we want them to
Silly
be
little
happy.
things. See what I'm saying? I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we want them happy. So we need a motion.
Motion to accept these, was the
Second
second
amended
amended
ordinance
ordinance
4-2023.
number 4-2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second amended ordinance number 4-2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No one. Very good. Next up is an approval for
They need
Minnie.
to sign again, won't they, Bob? Everybody have
Yeah,
to sign
sign
again.
one, yeah.
I'll sign that one.
Yeah, I've got an extra one if everybody wants to keep passing
Two are.
it. That way you can all keep your own if you want to sign that. And Sherry, you'll send that to State Board?
Yeah. Thank you. I will.
The SRF's authorization resolution. What's this, Sherry?
Annie sent this to me, and she said they have Steve Sora's signature and signatory authorization. What is it for?
That's for like any of your SRF forms or anything that's just for your disbursements to pay people with your SRF funds.
Which I signed.
Steve is, typically there's two signatures.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh,
and Steve.
The one on the pay applications, right? Okay. Is that right? Those?
So they're gonna need you to be authorized to sign.
Any problem with that, Bob?
Nope.
Owner.
Do we need any kind of motion to do this then?
I would, yes, authorize you.
I'll make a motion, we authorize Jim to sign the SRF forms. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it Jim or the position?
Well,
it's,
as the position as president of the council.
I just meant, does this go forward past this year?
Oh, that's
if,
good.
well, it'll probably
We'd
have to
have to
change
do-
again.
yeah,
It has to be
if the
public.
president changes.
Just curious.
Once you vote me out, it'll have to change, but
I figured you were running soon.
I'm not sure he wants you to stay till the end of the year.
He wants to stay? All right, so we have a motion, I'll second it.
There's a motion, a second, to approve me as the
Ready?
signatory authorization resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll send that to Andy. Will you need this in your file?
I do not need that.
Okay, all right.
Then we need an approval to transfer money
Yep.
from general fund. This
This
is,
is
again,
the-
from this,
Yeah, from state board of accounts, we had to
And we
create-
created these new funds
New
last
funds.
month's meeting, so.
So now I'm gonna transfer the money.
Yep.
So, of the 5 funds that we had to create, can you believe that? Yeah. From the general fund, opioid restricted, opioid unrestricted, and the K-9 donations, which all total now, not up from June, but this is up current, $62,305.04, which will be transferred into the restricted, unrestricted, and K-9 from general. And then the rainy day, the park project, and the venue project totals $158,032.15. That was put in rainy day. That will now go in the park project and the venue project.
yeah. So basically, this is from the audit. They want us to establish all these accounts and take it from where we're keeping the money and put it into these accounts, basically, correct?
Yeah, again, on paper, because
Yeah.
in reality, it's all in the one bank
Yeah,
account, or the
exactly.
savings account.
So I just have to,
And Sherry,
Make
either
it
on
better.
the record or in the minutes, you ought to reflect, I know you gave totals for all of them.
yeah,
Need
how
to break-
much?
need to
Okay,
break down.
okay,
Yeah.
so the, so I'll be moving from general, the opioid restricted fund, $33,103.98. The unrestricted opioid fund, $25,625.37. And if you remember, 30,000 of that was from a grant that was put into general, so that's where those totals so high. The K-9 donation fund, $3,575.69. And then from rainy day, the park donation fund, $128,032.15. And then into the entertainment venue donation fund, $30,000.
So I need a motion to go forward with resolution transferring money number 5, 2024.
Anybody?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we
Adopt this resolution.
adopt.
Got a second?
Whatever.
Thanks.
All right, have a motion, a second, to adopt resolution number 5, 2024, transferring these monies as noted. All in favor? Opposed?
Just a quick question on that. So, Bob, so our current rainy day fund shows 180 plus the 67 plus the 5 from the Cambridge City Finances, the cash balances funds.
No, look on the first page. The rainy day shows $338,389.
Okay, no, I got you now. All right, so when we're done,
There will still be money in rainy day.
there'll still be 180 or whatever?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Exactly.
Right, that's where this number
Yep.
came from.
Right.
Yep, that's
Okay, I
exactly
get
right.
extra credit for that?
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
You listen.
just checking.
Okay, so everybody needs to
All
sign
right,
that.
I was just wondering where that came from. Thank you.
Okay. And who's presenting approval to close North and South Foot Street for the fall antique
Norma brought in a paper. I thought it was already approved, but when,
Actually, I think we approved that all at
when,
the same
Troy
time in
came
the spring,
yeah.
so I think that's
So she
all.
wanted to make sure that she could close North and South Foot Street for that.
It's just the alley on both sides, right? Not the
Yes.
entire street?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said she'll have the fire lane.
Maintain fire
Yeah,
lane,
just
fire.
like they do for everything.
Perfect.
We can do that again if you want, but I'm pretty sure we approved
I think
all
it is,
that.
because it fits our office.
I think you did, yeah. And you don't have a problem with it, do you?
No, it's a
I mean,
weekend.
It's weekend,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, right on.
Okay. Staff reports, Town Marshal, Richard?
I just got a couple of things. Seth attended the training down in New Orleans and he's back now. He did have to use Uber twice for transportation from the airport to the race day and then vice versa. That's not covered in our ordinance for travel or anything, so I was gonna ask council, the total was $62.81 for both trips. If we can reimburse them for that.
Total, 62.81?
Yes.
We didn't think about Uber when we wrote it.
Yeah, we didn't think about tax, I didn't think about the transportation to and from, but.
I make a
Still a
motion, we
expense.
Yep,
It's still an expense, yeah.
makes sense.
And that would come out of the same pool of money that the rest of it came from, so.
We need a motion for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie.
Debbie did.
Debbie's got that.
Debbie got
Second.
it.
Have a motion
Is that you,
second
Gary?
to approve that
81.
62.81.
6281 for
Uber.
travel for Seth. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So I've been looking at the speed limit signs, the digital ones. Did you, Jim, get a chance to talk to the GOA and the library yet?
The library, yes, but not the Gully Center.
So I think maybe on the west end of town, the library may not be the best place. Maybe more down towards where
There's nothing to,
Wiesner's used to be.
As they come down the hill?
Yeah, because you're coming over a hill into the hill and you're not gonna see it, you know, far enough in advance to
agree.
take any action. So I think we need to look at there, but
Well, so now we talk to Seth Harvey,
Seth, yeah.
or Seth would be the person you talk to.
it's probably gonna have to go in the grass, actually, a little east of this, 'cause there's not really no place there to put it, it's all concrete.
So the next house?
Correct. Somewhere in that general area. I got some of the guidelines on where the placement needs to be and how to apply for the permits and all that stuff, so.
Okay, so I'll get
If you
those
want
photos to
to,
you.
or you just hand it over to me and we'll just take care of it.
Because you have to have state approval for the
Yes,
authority.
there's a permit we have to get and all that, so, yeah.
Just let him do it.
Yeah, it'd be good to get those up. And I will, I want to say that I thought Seth might have bought that house too. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking.
No, I think they
He
sold,
did.
whoever's living there, I think bought it,
Yeah, the
yeah.
lady who lives there.
Oh, okay.
lives
I
there.
think.
So you just wanna take care of it all? Is that what you're saying?
If you want to just hand it over, I'll
Yes,
I'll
please
get
do.
it moving, so.
It's probably better that you talk to that private citizen. The Gully Center we could do, but.
That's actually, I mean, it's in the right of way. We have to be within 50 feet or more of a speed limit sign. I think there's a sign right in that area right there, so, the only issue might be the little trees that are there, but we'll take a look at it.
Okay, thanks. Good news.
That's all I had. Okay. Fire chief?
Canal days went well. We had breakfast and lunch, hog roast, and everything went well.
Ran out of food?
No, we didn't run out of food, but had a really good day. We kept on. We ran until almost 6 o'clock.
Wow.
So had a real good day. Nobody complained. Nobody was sick. We did good.
That's good.
I have no other issues. I get the Halloween. We'll take care of that next month. It's a little too soon for that. That's
No,
why
they're already calling.
Okay, well,
But
then
we
that's-
already, we talked about it one at a time.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and then I'll ask permission to have the parade on, I think Thursday is the 31st.
Yes.
Parade, we'll have the Halloween contest fire station.
So is
Halloween,
it like
6 to 8.
but then what time's the parade?
Parade, 5:30,
5:30?
Have parade 5:30.
Old Central School?
Central School. That way we can have the contest at quarter till, that way the kids can get out at 6 o'clock, and go trick or treat.
Yeah. Go to church, trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat.
Okay. So I think we already said okay on the October 31st.
I wasn't sure if it did or not, so.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
I mean, if you want to do it again, you can, but I'm pretty sure you did. Way back.
Okay.
I'm-
That's all I got.
I'm comfortable, we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're
I'm-
We have,
I'm pretty sure.
if police help us, they're available. If not, we send enough trucks and guys to keep the kids safe, so.
31st.
You'll be here for we know it.
Anything else?
The girls here earlier, we'll be having homecoming parade through town.
Oh, yeah.
It's really coming up when we get, that probably needs to be approved.
Right. Oh.
You guys usually,
I don't know if they approve it or not ever. I mean, Richard, you guys
No,
are
we
in it.
just-
You just,
They
they
They just
do
do
it,
it, I
yeah.
think.
that's all we got going on right now.
Okay.
Kim?
I've got a couple things. Johnny's lawnmower. It's got close to 6,000 hours on it, he is starting to work harder than he needs to when he mows. And that, because there's a hydro starting to go out. So it is a mower that I'm gonna put on is on the retirement list. And over the winter, I'm gonna put together a list of things that we can sell. And this will be one of them. But I would like to, because he's going, until leaves come down heavy, he keeps the leaves mulched in the park and everything. So I had checked with Dennis Equipment on a mower that's just like his, and it was, the price I got from them was $12,100. I talked to Seth to see what something similar to that one would be, and a mower from Seth would be $8,329, and I would like to get your guys' approval to purchase that one from Seth.
And that's Premier,
Yes,
maintenance.
yes. It's keeping some business in town, and it gives us a chance to see what that kind of mower does.
Plus maintenance and support right there.
Where are you gonna pay it from?
Probably that one there will probably will take out of park equipment, because I was looking and I have money in the park equipment fund that would cover that.
Once again, do you have written estimates from both of those?
I got a written estimate from Dennis Equipment, and Seth sent me a text.
Have you shared that with council so they can see those?
I can share that text with them, but
He probably would write something up for you.
I can probably I can get him to
That way
write
then
something
we got
up.
something on paper, because I can't show text to State Board of Accounts if they ask me.
Yeah, I mean, but,
Yeah, get a written quote from him.
but like I said, that, he had stopped in, because he's one of them that's gonna we're looking at a generator for at the Miller building. And he said he would look, Seth is, and John, I'm getting a quote from both of them on that.
John.
From Turpin
Oh, yeah.
and that. And so Seth said, he'd shoot me a text, because he didn't know off his head what that mower would cost, but he shot me a text to let me know. And when I talked to him, I said, if, could get a chance, get me something in, writing paper-wise, but I'll get something from him. But like I said, I would like, would like to get approved by the board to be able to go ahead and purchase that.
Well, we'll need to do that the next meeting. We can't, unless we can't approve it without.
I would prefer not. I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah. So, do we need it between now and October?
Possibly.
I would suggest we can't vote on it at this point without the paperwork in place to review, per our guidance from Bob.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would agree.
Table?
I think we have to table.
And the other thing I have was, because we had talked about it, you guys had brought up about the snow blade for on the Kubota for cleaning the sidewalks. And I talked with Zimmer Tractor, where we had purchased it from, and the snow blade for the Kubota in that would be $4,920. He did send me a price on that. And I would like to get that approved, so I can get with him so they can get one order and get it in, so we can get it, get it down there so they can get it attached, so everything's ready to roll this winter with it. And I have it down there, I'm having them, we've changed the oil in it, but we've got enough hours on it now, it needs a good going through by a trained person with those, and so that's gonna cost me like $500. Well, they have it down there, they can go over it, and it all falls into that, like what we've talked before about maintenance, keeping them up on maintenance on the equipment.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. On a side note, Ken, I think I'd like to see a maintenance schedule for every piece of equipment we have and how often you maintain them, and what the cost basis is for us to do that. Great. So is the blade hydraulically controlled?
Yeah, it's electric.
So, but it will ride?
Yes.
From inside the cab?
Yes,
You
yeah.
don't have to go outside and, okay.
There's, from what he told me, with that Kubota we bought, the wiring's already there, it's just, you know, putting everything together and that, and he said it's simple, which I looked at it. The front of the Kubota has like, same thing as like the hitch that's on the back end for like a Reese hitch type thing, and it just slides into that. There's a pin, you plug in the wire harness, and then it's all controlled in the cab.
So what's the total?
The total for the blade is $4,920, and then like I said, and he told me that I asked, what's the service cost, and he said it'd be right around $500 for them to service, you know, changing fuel filters and oil filters and those things.
So my only question, the only thing that I would question is, I mean, that's $5,000, you know, is that the correct level of priority, or is there someplace, my concern is plowing the streets, you know, is this $5,000 something we could have used to plow the streets better, or is this $5,000 we definitely should spend on the Kubota to do the sidewalks?
Well, I mean, I still, with spending that on that there's still money there that I'm also working on getting a price for a plow for the red dump truck.
What were you taking money from on this little plow or blade? Where are you thinking?
Well, probably some from cemetery, some from MVH equipment.
Ken, I don't mean to be a stickler, but I'll try to go over this. The state law is pretty clear. Our own public purchasing policy is pretty clear that whenever you want council to approve an expenditure for some item, that's a public purchase. That public purchase should attempt to have at least 2, if not 3 quotes for that in writing that you share ahead of time, or at least at the meeting with council, so they can see those, compare them. Then they go with the most lowest and responsible bid. It may be something unique that if it's like a blade for an attachment of a machine that you already bought from somebody else, maybe that would justify just the 1 quote. But what you've had a habit of doing is just going out and then you come here and verbally say, well, I can buy this for this amount, will you approve it? That doesn't do the trick. I'm sorry, but that's just not the...
This here blade is from the dealer I bought the Kubota
Okay,
from.
that's fine, then explain that, but still get it in writing and share it with council and with the explanation of it, and then have ready where you're gonna spend it out of, which budgetary funds between you and Sherry can help determine that. But we've just gotta start having council see this in writing before they approve it, even if it's just from one vendor, so that we can say we have followed the state law. Again, I'm not trying to be difficult, I just wanna be clear so that nobody gets on us for doing something
And
improper.
that's what I was thinking, you know, it's the State Board of Accounts that comes back and says, do you have a quote for this? And I don't.
Yep.
Then we're backpedaling again.
And we need to see what we're approving, you know, we need to.
Right, there's the quote from Zimmer for that plow.
So we do have a quote here so we could do this, but again.
But it doesn't answer your question. I agree with the support for this, but it doesn't answer your question about priorities.
Right.
And we wouldn't need this right now, right? I mean, hopefully we don't need it in October, you never know.
Yeah.
But we should have this, if we agree this is a good priority, we should have it by at least November, or order it, right? Does it have to be ordered? What's
Yeah,
the lead-
they'll have to order it to get
What's the
it
lead
in.
time, do you know?
No.
So,
So if we get the Kubota serviced, we need something in writing for that.
I'm not sure we do for a
That's
service.
not for the service. She asked if we got the Kubota serviced.
If it's a service, I mean, if they're gonna provide a written service agreement, you ought to probably know what that is. Are they gonna charge an hourly rate for that? And is it you initiate that, or is it routine maintenance it's gonna do every month or every quarter or something? Just so we know some details of what they're gonna be doing for the servicing. I'd always err on the side of having more than enough.
Ken, how big a problem is if we table this for a month and decide from next month? Is that okay?
It's not, it's just, I just need to let him know when we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
And what'd you say about the plow? You were gonna look at a plow?
I'm looking at
Not,
getting some,
not for the Kubota, for
not
the
for, this is
vehicle.
for the red dump truck.
Okay, okay. So have you got any information on that?
I have
'Cause I know
not
that's-
received any of that. That is,
'cause
like I
that's
said, I've made
necessary,
a couple
right?
calls and waiting for some return calls.
And that's one reason I want to kind of hold off, let's have some more discussion about that and, where the monies are going to come from for both. And, okay? You can have this back if you want. Sherry will lose it.
We need some kind of checklist. Do we need a checklist for everything that comes through any of the departments on?
To make sure it's, I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Is that something we've had before?
No, not really, just because the minutes will reflect that you get 3 quotes from Beaver Machinery and King Machinery and Jim, and then you can look at them and see if they're all the same. If you're
No, I agree with why we have to do it.
And so all of that, and then the minutes would reflect that you've done that. I've not known us to have a checklist of saying, okay, we cross the Ts and dot the Is.
But even on the checklist, it would show where you're taking funds from, or, so Ken would have a cookbook approach to it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Where would that come from? Who would produce that?
Well, he has a spreadsheet. I give him his totals and he
No, I understand
knows-
that, but I meant, could we get like a checklist for every purchase that says item, bids, where's the money coming from? I've talked to Sherry, whatever it takes. Because then Ken has a procedure to follow that he can make sure he covers everything, and he gets it to us ahead of time, and it says, 1 week before the meeting or whatever.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Well, it's procedures, basically what I've just now talked
You
about.
did, but-
And prior ones have known to do it, and so.
I gotcha.
But if it helps somebody,
If it helps.
we
I mean,
can certainly
yeah.
give them a check
We can
that wants
create-
to follow these steps.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it would help you to, whatever.
Yeah, we could do that. And then you all would have that and you'd say, hey, he did this, and he did this, yeah.
Get organized.
That would be okay.
Okay, so,
That's a good idea.
I'll create that written steps.
or Sherry can,
Yeah.
somebody. I'll draw it up on a piece of
Yeah.
paper, whatever it takes.
Anything else, Kim?
So could we have it, so this for next week, next meeting, you might have a blade for the red truck, we might have this. We need to know, just some priorities. That's what you're asking. Plus, we have also the general discussion of prioritization, which I sent you an email on of, what capital equipment do we need to be thinking about over the next whatever amount of time. I know you're working on it.
Bob, what else do you have for us?
Nothing.
What? Okay.
Oh, come on, there's gotta be something.
I did want to bring up one thing. I thought I asked for it to be on the agenda, but maybe I didn't. We're getting ready to, the playground, is all, we got the monies to go forward with it and everything, so we're getting ready to get started on that. Part of that is pulling out a few pieces of playground equipment that's there now. There's 4 big pieces over there in that general vicinity. 3 of them are going to come out, 1 of them's going to stay. The 3 that are going to come out are in various states of disrepair. But they have to come out, and then the question is, what are we going to do with them? And I kind of had a little conversation with Bob. We can scrap them. We could donate them to the Boy Scouts, let them scrap them and get the money, or we could have some type of auction or something and sell them.
Or you could give it to another municipality if they're willing to do it too.
Correct.
You don't have to do that publicly. That could be a private thing, but then if you decide to dispose of them through public auction, there are some steps to it through.
So that's one of the first things that's going to happen. So I'm looking for a little direction on what people think we should do with that equipment.
Well, I was told today there was picnic tables damaged over the weekend. I'm worried about this equipment. Did the guy show you the picnic table? I'm worried about the new
That was a
equipment
picnic
coming in.
table, that wasn't, I don't know who put that picnic table years ago in that shelter house, but it wasn't the best of a picnic
So
table
was it easy
then.
to break then?
Huh?
It was easy for them to jump up and down
What
on and
kind?
break it? A wooden one, right? Not
Yeah.
cement?
Yeah, it's not one of the cement ones, it's a wooden one that I don't even know who built it, who put it.
I think
I
we
can't-
did it. What it is, sorry.
I just kind of wanted to give the equipment to the Boy Scouts. Would be my vote.
And let them scrap it?
Mhm. I don't think it's worth giving to anybody else because there's so many broken parts and things that need fixing.
Yeah.
And then if something gets damaged, pulling it out, then that's something else. And I wouldn't want, we're getting rid of it because it's old, needs work, and, you know, you just don't want anybody to get hurt on it.
And you don't want to give away something like that.
Exactly.
Yes, I agree.
But we will be responsible for, we, the town will be responsible for removing it from the ground, and then what part do they do? Do they bring the trailer? I mean,
The Boy Scouts?
yeah, what,
I think they do bring the trailer.
I know they do, but I didn't know what
We have to pull it out of the
Okay.
ground.
And then they would have to vote? How would we vote?
What would be appropriate is it's a motion to abandon that property that you are removing from the playground, and in conjunction with that, donating to the Boy Scouts for them to be picked up, so that you don't have to deliver it. You're removing it, they're picking up, and the magic word is you're abandoning that, and then donating it to that organization.
And do we have a list? I know you told me the list, but do we have a list? Should the list be a part of that, or just?
Yeah,
Probably so.
I mean, we could in general say all of that which is being removed from the, but it would have to have that list.
Yeah,
It's
I
three
have the
pieces,
list with
three
me.
pieces of playground.
We
Yeah.
can just say that, right? Okay, well, I'll make that motion unless you want to make the motion.
No, go ahead, yeah.
To remove
Abandon.
abandoned, three
Abandon.
pieces of abandoned equipment per, I assume, the design or the plan, and donate that material or that equipment to the Boy Scouts for
For their pickup.
pickup. Thank you.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to abandon those three pieces of playground equipment being removed for the park project and donate that to the scouts for their pickup after our removal. All in favor?
Aye.
Jim? one
Yes.
thing. After talking about that picnic table getting damaged, October 5th, we're gonna start putting Christmas lights and stuff up in the park. Are we closer to getting, they have some rails down there, cameras, or?
That's what I was gonna bring up. Do we have any more information on?
We got a lot of, we had a lot of stuff damaged last year.
On getting
Yeah.
what?
Cameras.
The
cameras?
Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi first.
I have told them we voted to go forward with that, so they should be working on getting that installed, yes. I have a meeting, I was just trying to look and see, next week, so I can get an update on that at that point.
The camera systems that we have now are failing.
No,
Yeah.
terrible.
They've been in there for 10 or 12 years at least.
Well, and then when we had one boy damaged that, what we could see as a person damaged it, but that was
But we
real.
haven't gotten any quotes
That was
except that one for like.
Right, but we need to know about the internet
$40,000.
first before we go get any quotes, because we gotta know how we're gonna operate them, so.
I think the quotes will be easy because they'll be Wi-Fi enabled, it'll be a lot cheaper than what we were getting quotes
Right.
on, so, yeah. I'll try to follow up on that this week, because I'm gonna be out of town next week, so I just noticed, so. I'll follow up.
Just
The
noticed.
other issue with that was the power source. When they do put the lights up and they kill the power in the park, we lose the power. So we need to still take a look at that, but,
Yeah,
Well, I can't remember who was here was talking about that, but some of those Wi-Fi cameras are actually battery operated.
they are. The ones I have in my own house are battery operated, but you still have to have, lights, you know. I mean, they're all, I have IR cameras, but they're limited range.
I think the
What we
key
need there
is-
is better than what I got in my house, obviously.
so the county is gonna contract with New Lisbon, and I think the key is to work with New Lisbon then on what's best to work with them, so.
I agree.
Yeah. I'll get a follow-up and find out. But yeah, that should be in process at this point.
Are you thinking the, like those blank cameras, is that what you?
No, we need something better than
I was
that.
gonna
That's,
say,
that's,
yeah,
that's good for your house, but I don't
Yeah,
think that's a
okay.
good enough camera for, they may make a camera that's good enough over there, but the ones I have are just residential, you know, so it's something we need to research.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I had. Debbie, you have anything?
No. Canal Days was great, thanks
Canal
to
Days was
everybody
awesome.
that helped, yeah.
Yes.
It was really great.
The chamber should be commended
Yeah,
for
they
the
did
job
good.
they did.
Absolutely.
Cambridge City
They're
Chamber. of
recruiting
Commerce.
members. I heard that today.
I was very proud of it this weekend.
Yes, yes, that's great.
Yeah.
Mike has something, he wants to add something.
You have something?
Wasn't on the agenda, so I apologize. And this does not need approved tonight, but I always like to talk about it with you guys. It's an amendment for labor standards in the payroll processing. Jim, Sherry, and I have talked about before, but I wanted to talk with you guys about it.
Thank you.
Basically, as part of the water project, my job is to do Davis-Bacon wage compliance on the project. I keep thinking that project's gonna end and it just keeps going and going and going. And then I was talking to Adam and he said that we've got contingency funds that we're looking to add to the project as well. And so regardless, if we do any construction, we've got to do additional Davis-Bacon wage compliance on that. And so Adam thought that that would be at least 4 months of construction time from the time it started to the time it's done. The payroll processing, what I do there is I help Sherry do the SRF disbursement forms every month. That takes a lot more time than you think. And when State Board of Accounts comes in and asks for stuff, Sherry can vouch, we spent a lot of time getting on stuff.
Yeah, and still.
And so this amendment is really for the additional, because Adam said it's going to be through June. So we're going to have
more
monthly. That's why Marty was sitting here waiting, was because of this. And that's, but I don't need this approved today, but I wanted to talk with you guys about it and what it is and why it's needed. It's required by SRF. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
There'll be SRF funds available to pay this, so it's not coming out of the town.
Correct. It's, I would wait to confirm that with Adam since he wasn't here this evening. I wasn't planning on coming this evening, but somebody covered another meeting, so that's why I was available. I was like, Sherry, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Let's confirm with Adam that there's contingency funds available, but yes, if we're using contingency funds to do additional construction work, then Adam knows, because I've talked to him about it, that we have additional labor standards and stuff as well.
So this, the 29,750 would go to your firm. Right?
You've paid us 18.
Okay.
Which is already approved. So
Which
this
is already
really
approved.
just talking
This
about
just
11,250 is what
Okay.
we're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
To do the pay stuff
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. And I got another federal audit next year. They've already told me we've spent over 750,000, so they'll be back.
Good days.
I know.
Good days and days.
So then you would resubmit this amendment with a new date on it when we.
Which date from?
9/9/2024, so if we're not approving it tonight.
Oh, yeah, I can resubmit it. That's
But I mean,
not-
is there a reason we shouldn't approve this tonight?
Only to confirm with Adam that the funds are available. I mean, I think they are. I don't know. I can't say.
So.
I just felt bad bringing it to you and asking you to approve it.
If it's
Saying
coming
that we
from
haven't-
contingency funds, we haven't spent any of those contingency
Yeah.
funds yet. We've just put a list of things that, part of our 2 water main projects and part of it was the mapping they're doing. So I'm confident there are contingency funds there.
Then you could probably go ahead and
Yeah, I think we need to.
We're here, let's party.
Yeah.
Do it.
Anybody like to offer a motion then?
Motion to approve the net changes to the amendment of $11,250 to be paid for the service.
To do the SRF documents
Yes.
Do I have a second?
and pay our contingencies.
Have a motion and a second to approve this amendment, number 2023-02 with Klein Peter for consulting in the amount of $11,250. All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed?
Do we need to sign anything? Mike?
Yeah, I'll just take a copy and I'll sign it.
Oh,
and
here, on
sign
the back,
it.
okay.
Yep, you can sign it as well. I'll just sign too.
Okay.
Do we get is there a frequent
you
coffee
just
card
need
we
Jim.
can get punched for
Coffee
time? No, just not.
He was on call with State Board of Accounts. He sent, oh my gosh, binders and plus what I had and it,
And they were telling us we paid something 3 times.
Yeah.
And Sherry and I were like, they did
we
not
had to
pay
get on,
3 times.
he got on
So
a
then-
call with Indiana Finance and it's like, yeah, it was a mess here too. So what does the buy, signature and then buy,
Oh, just don't worry about it.
and then you'll sign?
Yeah, I'll sign it.
I would write in town of Cambridge City above that.
Above the
Above
signature?
signature, yeah.
Okay.
I brought it here for you. Because I don't ever see it again. No.
Gary, do you have anything?
Ken, are we any closer to getting that work done on the 111 Mulberry Street? I've been telling the Mulberry people there was gonna be done.
Sorry, you waited.
The sidewalk.
The sidewalk, yeah.
I'm gonna try to start working on that tomorrow.
Okay, okay. Just,
What was it?
Didn't tell me.
The sidewalk?
The sidewalk in front of 111
Oh,
Mulberry,
okay.
where the flasher is.
Mm-hmm. You'll miss it.
Yeah, 2 years now, I've been watching that thing.
Jim,
This
you have
Like a
anything?
long lost
Is
friend.
the battery ever go
I
dead?
think it's solar. Sun's been out.
Okay, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Right on.
All in
Good.
favor?